Welcome, everyone. How are you today? Good morning. Very nice to have you here with me. Fasting Space, recording this Monday, March 16. And it is a blizzardy day here in Madison. Thought we'd sit by the fire a little bit, have a little chat. I'm going to just talk to you about simple fasting, the business, what I'm trying to do. I thought I would just let people know. And of course, love to hear how you're doing. Take your questions and reflections if you're with me here live, and then coming through on the replay, share your questions, reflections. How are you doing in health? We have an ongoing conversation about your experience. Where are you trying to go? So this is what I've been thinking a lot. Simple fasting. Where have we been, and where are we, and where are we going? So I'll give you some reflections on that. You know, I think the whole process for me is like a process. How do we help people become metabolically healthy in the best way? How can I do it? Simple fasting for a long time now has been the avenue, the channel that I'm trying to extend thinking and develop systems and processes to help people lose weight and find health and healing as easy a way as possible. And then, of course, if you follow me on the channel, you know that I always qualify that by saying that any sort of health process, not really easy, and it can be actually a difficult thing to do. And that's why my favorite book, I think, that we go through on this channel, The Mountain is You, right? Climbing a mountain is a journey. It is a task. And so to me, I feel like simple fasting is like what I want it to be, like in the aspirational vision, you know, honest and grounded, truthful, transparent. That's why I just thought I'd talk, a little more about this today, is like, what actually are we doing? And from that sort of place, the type of entity, that can really move health forward. So I've told the story on the channel before. How did I start in fasting? Like once upon a time, I was just like a regular doctor who did not know anything about fasting and never even really heard of it. We say in medicine, we order fasting labs for somebody, but it's like, that's like the only time you would consider fasting. It's like, oh, if you just have to do it, and then we feel sorry for you, and then we carry on. And then I've told the story, I think even like one of the first videos on the channel, the first time I saw fasting heal, saw someone's blood sugar situation improved in fasting. I said, that's fascinating. And then I start leaning into it. So leaning into it for 2 years, what I did, I just started like a sheet where I wrote down every piece of interesting information that I learned about fasting, how to do it, onto this piece of paper. And then I rewrote it a couple times, and I would just photocopy it as like a discussion starter with patients. So anybody, I say, like, are you interested in losing weight? Are you interested in improving blood sugar? Trying to open up a space of finding peace and contentment, healing a relationship with food. And if someone was open to that, I just give them my handwritten little form. I got a copy here. Someday we'll break it out. And I did that for about 2 years. And, I found in a primary care clinic, it's actually, most people are interested in hearing about such a thing from their doctor. And I was taking more and more time. It was my wonderful medical assistant was like, you've got to get a better process, And it's like the sheets and the things, like, and it was her idea. Why don't you start a website where you just tell people, hey, go to this website, make some resources, and then, make my life better, because now we're not running behind all the time talking about fasting. And so that's when I started simplefasting.com. And so initially, Simple Fasting is the website. And you can see some of the original articles up there, 2018, 2019. And, the most helpful one, the one I lean into the most, 3-step weight loss plan, just the simple steps. And then, I use that a lot, out of that formed a lot of the thinking there initially, formed the basis for the research study. If you haven't seen that, check that out. I've got an article, simplefasting.com, for medical provider resources. And I've got my paper and some discussion linked in there. Got a video on the channel linked about that too, where I talk about it a bit. Through a long series and process, I said, I'm going to lean into this in a next level, which was leaving the university and saying, I'm going to stop the primary care practice. I'm going to just try to create as many resources and processes for people to lean into this fasting as possible. And so formed the LLC after, as I was leaving the university, just because I had so many expenses, I was like, I guess if we're going to do this, we got to have some sort of business structure to do it. So fasting as a business has been interesting. I resisted a concept of that for a long time because it's like, well, fasting is free. And does it really need to be a business? I'm sitting here trying to navigate the crazy world that we are in which we have so many taxes and regulations and things. So I was like, well, I get the consultant. It has to be a business, okay, so that you can write off all the expenses and get yourself some liability protection and all these things. So leaving the university, Simple Fasting LLC is like a business. And so I got myself some attorneys, some wonderful healthcare attorneys, to help navigate all the complexity of our modern medical system, from a little different perspective. So then I ended up with two entities. Got Simple Fasting LLC. That's the YouTube channel. Simple Fasting LLC really is like an education company, if we can refer to it that way. And so I got the website and the YouTube going through there. And then in my videos, at least as of this recording, how I have it set up, the Dr. Z method. It's really the only thing I'm really selling, a method for helping people with type 2 diabetes to overcome it, move beyond it, at least deal with it in as natural a way as possible to minimize side effects from medications. Really, really wonderful process. That's using the foundation of the research study that we did. So all that is education focused, and then form the separate entity, Simple Fasting Advisors Service Corporation. Oh my gosh, it's a mouthful. For all my actual consulting with people. So, because there's so many things behind the scenes, in medicine, all the malpractice insurance and all different kinds of insurance, all these sorts of things. So I have that wrapped in. Nobody on YouTube, right? Everybody, I'm nobody's doctor. I'm just an internet guy. We're doing some public thinking and speaking. And then if you come and see me in my clinic, you can get to it through simplefasting.com. I got telemedicine in Wisconsin and then a physical clinic now in Fitchburg, Wisconsin. And I got to keep an eye on the clock now because I'm getting to some appointments in a little while, so I won't ramble on forever today. Gonna get through the snow and off to some fasting appointments. So I think in the big picture, I think simple fasting, do you remember the talking we've been doing? It's kind of merging Atomic Habits and then The Mountain Is You, but maybe as Atomic Habits, this idea, okay, living in the present, focusing on a process more than a goal. I thought that was Atomic Habits. I think when we have a goal and we're just so focused on hitting that, that's like hitting the number on the scale. We narrow the possibilities. What is possible. When you focus on a way of being, see, this is how we bring in the creative act, all these things. I'm trying to take these things that we're doing in this process, bring them into what I'm, trying to do with the whole ship, If we focus on the way of being, what is the process that we have, then wherever the ship sails, we might end up somewhere different. We might end up somewhere better. And so I've had, of course, thoughts over the years. What even is simple fasting? What is it in its pure manifestation? Is it a YouTube channel? Is it a clinic? Is it an educational service? Is it an educational program? Like, it could be all these different things. Maybe we do everything. Now we got the podcast. I'm mixing some of these nice episodes into a podcast that you can get. And sometimes I think, man, if I had like one of these things and we turned it into like the one vision, if that was the goal, which maybe I still should do, I think about it. But it's been an interesting experience over, coming up this spring, going to be 2 years since I left the university. And then I've been sitting here doing fasting consulting, doing the YouTube, and this whole thing. And it doesn't really look like what I was thinking when I left. But I will say, it's been a very enjoyable process. And I have been able to connect with so many different people over this time, and I've really liked it. So this is kind of an overview, like how did we get to where we are, That's been kind of the flow of it. And then now as we're sitting here, I've been doing a lot of thinking like, okay, so this felt like kind of like an experience. It was difficult to leave the university. It's been difficult to set up business systems. I'm not really a business guy, I want to be just chatting with people about health and wellness, helping people solve problems, And so there's been a lot of legal stuff and a lot of all this stuff where it's a lot of financial stuff. How do you, run a business talking about fasting, which is in this interesting space where, you could argue, people even argue, is it even medicine? From a certain perspective it is, and from a certain perspective it isn't. And if we're arguing from a perspective that it isn't, then it's just something deeper and more profound, that it's like what comes before medicine. Like, does health come before medicine? This is what I was thinking last night. Like, health is this state that comes first, and then medicine is something to try to return us to a space that already existed, And so to the extent that fasting is medicine, it is something that is like food is medicine, something that is nourishing and helpful to the body. Is the only way I would use a fasting process. Something to help us return to this state of health. I say fasting could be applied, and then health can ensue. It's like someone's blood sugar is high, open up some fasting space, blood sugar returns to normal. Within 1 day, you can see the pattern, right? And then the process of repeating something like that is the process of taking steps down a path toward better health. I've loved the live experience. So, I spent, a good string of time. I don't know how long it was. We could look at the history where we were doing just the once weekly shows, Sunday. Loved that. In the fall, went to doing this every weekday, which has been a good experience. Really dialing in the thinking and the routine of it. And so I've been doing some thinking. I thought I'd tell one story when there was a moment when I was leaving the university when I was also, part of it is like the inspiration, like what would it be like to run a fasting clinic just out in the world, apart from gigantic systems, just interacting with people, not beholden to insurance companies and arcane policies. And I'll say very good. Very interesting, very good. But there was a point where I was especially burned out with the medical system for a while too, and I thought, like, maybe I just want to be done with medicine, at least for a while. And I thought about, because I'm very interested, of course, in health, personally, myself, for people, for the environment, like the world, everything. I put this background, because this is here on my parents' land outside of Madison, which is one of my very favorite places to be in the world here. Mom and I are cleaning up a brush pile here. If you look in the background of this woods, the woods is completely overgrown with invasive species, buckthorn, multifloral, rose, honeysuckle, garlic, mustard. I mean, everything that is in there, even most of the trees There's locust trees there and box elder trees. Most of them are not the original oak savanna that this land is like supposed to be before it was clear cut and farmed. And I have a big desire to see healing come across all areas of life. And when I think of healing of land, restoring natural systems and cycles, to me, there's such a mirror. I've said this so many times on our discussions. We look at the body. People define obesity and, of course, type 2 diabetes as a disease. From my perspective, these are coping mechanisms in the body that are parts of the natural physiology of how the body is trying to make the best of a difficult situation. There are energy imbalances in the body, equations that the body is trying to solve, and this is the manner that does it, and there are just pros and cons to that process. I see the same thing happening in the natural world. The world is trying to cope and adapt with a very difficult burden that is being placed on it by the completely unbalanced things that we are doing to it. And so I think a lot about, think of the talks that we have done on seeing the roots of metabolic dysfunction coming out of the Industrial Revolution and the manifestations of industrial society. And so when I am sitting out in the country, trying to help in a tiny way restore some balance to land and natural systems on our little postage stamp of ground, for what it's worth, then I feel like it's the same thing. This is the thought that I have a lot. I was like, this is really the same thing, bringing health to people, bringing health to land, bringing health to anything, because everything matters. This is the session I've done. Everything matters and everything is connected. And so sometimes when I shut the screens off and I sit out in the woods with an owl and I watch the deer and, everything coming through, and I'm like, well, it certainly feels healing and healthy to me. And that's why, here I'm merging my two worlds. Some perspective out in the country, burning through dysfunctional collections of things in the brush pile is a perfect analogy to me of autophagy space, opening up fasting space in the body, burning through dysfunctional things in the body, whether that's emotions or whether that's calories, It's like we're burning through stuff and opening up space. This is what we want to do in the space. Most of the woods you can't even walk through. You'll get scratched up by nasty, thorny brambles, okay? But we want to open up space so it can be healthy. So the natural plants and animals can flourish in this space is what we want in our body for our cells. We want the cells of our body, and they need space to be able to operate, and flourish. So I've been thinking about leaning into this. When I talk about where are we going from here, I'm going to be ramping up the clinic. I'm going to be traveling a bit. I'm going to be in South America for a little bit. I've been writing a little ideas for our session. Like I might, times where I've done a little vacation in the past, I've plugged in some recorded spaces, which I don't know that I'm going to do this time, If, I love the live vibe. I've been thinking about this a lot, if, I want most of all, the education part of this what we're doing now. I want spaces and thinking, ideas, experiences, that really connect and resonate with people. And, I don't know, if we are doing that or not in this space. Are we doing it or are we not? I couldn't really say. It's been valuable to me. And I know, some people who are here, I'm preaching to the choir, bless you for being here. And, I've had so many great conversations too, even offline, sending the emails and chatting. And I know some of this thinking has been helpful to people. I have thought about it though, like, is there a way to merge these things in a deeper way that would also connect or be more valuable to people? Like, I've thought about, like, I don't know. I don't think we quite have the technical capability, although sometimes maybe, like, actually bring the live session, especially in the warmer months, bring it outside, actually get out of town where we do have internet. Okay, like I did a little live stream on Thanksgiving from our house here. And when I think of merging them, though, the story I was trying to tell, I almost didn't start doing anything about simple fasting. I was like, I might just start like a little CSA farm, and just sit here and get some animals, because really what this forest needs are goats, is like some animals coming through and chewing it up. Like me with a chainsaw, and a brush mower is like, it's not remedying the situation. And to find ways that have multiple win-win situations, something I'm looking for. So I've been working with a local farmer who we subscribe to his CSA. And he came in, and we've been doing some planning on what we might do, on the property to restore health to the woods and the fields. And to me, as I see it, a lot of what we've done in our disrupting of the natural cycles, we've stripped everything out. This is the industrial process. We've stripped everything out of its natural context. There used to be a lot of animals roaming around through here, and especially as we get into the deep history, buffalo and mastodons and stuff like this, that would keep all of these scrub trees and things chewed down, and help the oak savanna to flourish. I say we can replicate some of that by bringing in animals. And so I've been looking at doing that, about starting to graze goats, especially through the woods. I'm getting set up to do it. And then I was thinking, I might just do that the whole time and then set up like, an actual farm and run it. And then I was like, no, I want these systems too. Like one big thing, personally, as I'm being transparent, in my life, my tendency is like all or nothing. I'm going to go 100% at this. And then if I get tired of it, I go 100% on something else. And, is that some type of little ADHD thing? I don't know. But anyway, I was like, there's so much beauty and goodness that I want to see through this fasting process. So I went as all in as I could here over the last couple years on that. And now I'm kind of coming back around, but I'm like, isn't this the same thing? And isn't this like so healthy and positive? And is there a way to bring people into it in a way? I was talking with my wife, about planning and goats and what is this all gonna be like? And she was saying, there's like goat yoga, and these animals are so goofy and also therapeutic. I was like, I don't know. I wonder if there's a way to create content that resonates with some people around this context where we can merge it all together. Like a big thing in our natural world, right? The natural world is so much like we're using a digital technology. We're here, connecting together through a digital platform. So I like that. I think this is like the best use of technology to try to connect and build digital spaces that help bring people together around ideas, move toward health and healing. So I certainly love that. And then thinking in this space, I was like, can we make it better? I've been thinking, I love this thinking, as I've been saying, okay, simple fasting, what even is it? And then the live show we've been running since the fall weekdays. I've thought like I could just roll with this. I got piles of books and all this thinking, but I don't want to be fixed and stuck in it, in a space that doesn't really resonate with people. If we had hundreds of people, coming in, of course I would lean into it. But then I feel a lot of times like, some people kind of on my vibe and I'm happy about it, but like, is there a way to make it better? And so I'm certainly open to suggestions, like say, keep going on the live every day, because like the space that I can see that I'm going to run into is that I won't be able to do everything to the highest level, It's like, because the clinic is ramping up, seeing more people. Sometimes I think I should just be leaning into this because it's brought me so much good energy and positivity to meet with people in person again. The telemedicine good because it, can get a broader reach, but then meeting with people in person has just been really beautiful, and I love that. And the live is good. It's been great to connect with people in the comments. But then I've thought about, well, if I can't really go live from the woods, as I'm doing this process, I still have to get my mind around how much time is it going to take, There's only so much time we have. Would it be more valuable to people? This is what I was thinking, for me to get a camera up. Like if we brought the live back to once weekly, and then I was able to, get the camera out of the city here and out into the country as we're having this interesting experience of the animals coming on the land, would people enjoy it? I do wonder, Would it be therapeutic? Could we create a therapeutic space? Because there's going to be many beautiful analogies as we're watching the goats going through this woods and clearing out all of the invasive stuff. See, this is starting a natural cycle of healing on the land. There's so many analogies of what we're trying to do in the body, about eating healthy, natural things from the earth. Like we're not going to be eating the brambly stuff, right? But we're a different creature, right? Think about how do we restore natural cycles that our body is expecting so that we can have health flourishing in our body. I can see making some content like that that could be nice, helped even in our digital existence where we can't all get out into the country, have some fun, bring in some, elements of the natural world even through our digital existence, and then use it to do some deep thinking, hopefully, about that. Hey, good morning. Appreciate that. I hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing so well. So yeah, it'll be something interesting to think about. If I was, I've done some tests. Say going live from the woods. It just seems like, I don't know. I want to. I've really loved this experience doing the live. I am going to stick with it in some fashion. But what is the balance? Is some live and then opening up some space, because like in general the experience of the week of doing the live, it's like it takes quite a bit to do it. Would it be more valuable just get the camera out, film this process, make some content that maybe resonates with people more? So that's what I'm thinking about. So where does it go? Where are we going in the future of simple fasting? Like a big thing, is going to be the clinic. I'm really have a mind to lean into the clinic big, because it's brought me so much energy to meet with people in person, so much more ability to connect and really problem solve, and so I just feel like that's going to be really good. The live, I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going weekdays for now while I'm thinking about it, especially until my vacation coming up in mid-April. And then I'm writing this episode on digital fasting. I'm going to be doing a digital fast. I'm going to be cut off from the world for, almost 2 weeks. No phones, just getting out in some wilderness. And really, I'm going to hopefully inspire all of us, man, to do that. I was having, I told you all, last week I went to this AI conference. And during one of the break sessions, I was talking with a gentleman who did that, who was on a trip and spent some time in some kind of rural mountainous areas in Japan that was in, views of the ocean and mountains and, that was like a retreat where it was like shut the phones off and digital disconnect for a while, and he was just talking about how much better he felt. And so we were, I've been thinking about this, there's just the pros and cons to it, of like, okay, we can connect in spaces and it's helpful. I can't really imagine life without digital tools. Like, I think are wonderful. But then at the same time, it's also like a privilege to be able to disconnect from it. And like, so this is kind of like so many things in life are a balance, right? There's, we've got to eat. We need healthy, nutritious food, but then also the space from it is good too. Like, and so I see like a parallel there. There's like really good things come from connection and use of digital resources. But what about digital fasting can like benefit too? Like, see both sides of it, and so much of life is about finding balance. And so this session is, at least for me today, thinking about, okay, business, trying to do this. What is the balance to say all these different good things, the podcast and a live session and then a clinic, and then, in some biggest vision that I have, especially here in person, I'm starting to meet with people, in person again has felt so good. What if we can get people actually in person out here, actually physically, and maybe we're using some of these resources digitally to help build actual physical community in person. See, I think I would like that a lot. I'm picturing, groups of people that I'm working with, if people want, actually come out into the country, meet the actual animals when we have them. We have a fun time, build actual community in some ultra great vision of the future. I have no idea what happens in the future. I would also love to travel a bit, like if we build like community around this somehow, where I would love to travel around and host events and meet with y'all in person would be great too. And we'll see how that goes. I put the interview on the channel with Michelle Pitot. If you saw that on here, Stop the Food Noise. I would love to do a lot more of that too, So Michelle is a metabolic psychotherapist. If you saw that. Marie here, so nice to have you here. Says, been binge watching videos. Hey, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Great information. Appreciate the analysis of the books and how to apply fasting and wellness. Hey, that's awesome. Really glad that you're finding value from that. I have loved doing it. I'm going to keep doing it, and we'll see. We'll see what is the best frequency for it. That's what I'm thinking of. So check out that interview with Michelle. It's so interesting. She started as a regular therapist, psychotherapy, and then came through it to realize how important it is that we get all of our metabolic health in the right spot. And then we have led kind of inverse lives where I started like focusing physically, on helping people with metabolism. And then I've flowed in the opposite direction and realizing how much we need to take that space and add in therapy to it, so that we can do the deep work of getting, our emotional space where this healing really resides. So we've kind of come in this kind of twist, if you see, to both being at the same place where we need to help people physically, emotionally, mentally, through counseling and food nutrition therapy. And, so I really loved that conversation, and I want to do a lot more just conversations with people like in real life, or at least over video, so I would, so that in the ideal world, this wouldn't just be me rambling on and on. It would be more conversational. That's why I love the comments and the dialogue, So these are my reflections. I would love to sit here and I would talk on and on about it, but so I want to be transparent about everything that I'm doing and thinking. These have been my thoughts, kind of where we have come from, what it's like, running a fasting sort of business, how it's just this, to me, it's openness. Fasting is openness. This whole experience so far of trying to do it since I left the university, has been, it's been a joy. It really has. And we'll see where it goes. So I'm very open to feedback from everybody. I just every piece of feedback, good or bad, from anything. I'm of the mind. I really love the quote, "Iron sharpens iron." Right. So if somebody sees things, I want every piece of feedback that is like, "Why do you do this? Why don't you do that?" Love to hear it. Want to create the most valuable resources for everybody, and so let's have some thinking. I'll be doing some thinking about it. I'm leaving the country April 11. And so we'll be doing live as we are doing weekdays, at least until then. Then we got digital fasting. That's what I'm going to be doing. Open up some really deep thinking, hopefully space to think like, what are the... Because like everybody, right? Like you, I'm sure, like we all want to use our time in the very most... the best way. It's such a precious resource. We have only so many moments in this life. Don't we want to maximize them and make them the most impactful that they can be? These will be one thing that I'm thinking on over the coming days. Let's have an ongoing conversation about it. Should the live stay every weekday? Should we go back to once a week and then try to make some videos that are more focused? Can I keep doing it every day and do this process I told you where I'm going to start, bringing animals and running my mini little land restoration project? We will see. See, I don't really exactly know. Never done anything like it before. And so that's going to be an interesting experience. Either way, however it goes, I will share the journey with you. We'll try to take all of these experiences and merge them into the very best thinking we can do so that we can help health to flourish for as many people as possible. And just whatever that looks like, I'm open to trying to figure out what is the very best way that we can do it. As we look, in this fire, these coals, this is my favorite part of the fire, when the, all the excess has been burned away. We're left with this pure carbon. To me, this is showing us that, every other thing is gone. The really valuable stuff. Remember, I was talking in that video I did, Let Your Metabolism Burn, about, that pure carbon, when you save that, we hose this thing down, save those coals, that is actually what builds that richest soil, the Terra Preta that they found in the Amazon. People for thousands of years burning and incorporating that rich carbon into the soil, make this hyper-fertile soil. This is the type of thing that we want in our life, investing in the very most impactful, powerful health processes so that life can grow and flourish. I'm going to keep doing this thinking. I would love, I'm feeling on a roll, but now I got to get to the clinic, which I have created for myself. I am the one who set the appointment time starting at 9:30, and I'll have to think about it, right? There's like lots of things to balance. So I am going to get through the snowy day here in Madison, get to clinic, which I am charged up to meet with people, help with some people in person with some fasting space. And I wish you the very most beautiful day. Give some feedback and thoughts. We'll have an ongoing conversation. This happened. You mentioned the beard. There is no plan. This is like, maybe you're getting the drift with some of my talk. Like, there's no master plan in my personal life. I'm on a day-by-day process. How do I just do stuff that is helpful to people, doing good thinking, creating systems and processes that are helpful to people? And like, we went skiing up north. Remember I did the one where I was sitting out by the lake, open up the space? That was the last, that's when this started. Because like, I'm not shaving when I'm skiing, and then I was just kind of feeling it. And so we'll see. We'll see where it goes, but appreciate the comment. Have a beautiful day. If you have opinions, I have not planned the show for tomorrow. After I get done in clinic, I'm going to do thinking for the show tomorrow. If you want to participate and say, what do you want to hear from? Do you want another step on Atomic Habits? Do you want another step of Mountain is You? Do you want anything else? Do you want more artistic thinking? Or you say, let's throw another ball in the air. I got other books. We could go say, let's throw another ball into the thing. If you have opinions, throw them in the video comments, and I will get back and look to it. But I got to run. You have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.